Hi, friends, and welcome to your practice. My name is Polly, and today's class is a foundations flow. So if you're a beginner or if you're just returning to the basics, this is a great class for you. We'll move through a series of poses with special attention to foundation, so where to place the hands and feet in each pose. And also we'll attend to some key alignment principles in each pose. Sound like a plan? Cool. Let's get started. Please have two blocks, and if you'd like a blanket, and we'll get started off in mountain pose, standing at the front of the mat. So you're pretty much like at the front of your mat. And the foundation for mountain pose is that your feet are directly below your hips. So they're slightly separated. Um, Second toes are more or less parallel, and all four corners of your feet are pressing down into the mat. Bring your arms to your sides, palms face forward. Fill the body with breath. Fill the mat and the earth below your feet, establishing a steady, solid foundation. Begin to build the breath now. Deep breath in through the nose and deep breath out through the nose. This is Ujjayi breath, the breath of yoga, and we'll use the breath cue throughout practice to help us remain present in the poses and present with the mind-body connection. Look forward, and on an inhale, reach the hands high. Inhale, look up to the thumbs, and then exhale, release arms by your sides. Nice. Keeping the movement with breath. Inhale, reach up, look up. Use the full exhale to release the arms out and to your sides. Inhale, reach up, look up. Nice. And then exhale, release arms by your sides. One more. Inhale, reach up. And this time on your exhale, bend your knees and forward fold. Bring hands all the way to the earth, fingertips touch down. Now, knees stay bent, and if fingertips don't quite make it to your mat, this is where you can grab your blocks. Use the blocks to bring the mat to you. And remember, they have three levels: low, medium, and high. So you may start off with your practice on the high level of blocks, and then as you get more warmed up and more open in the hamstrings, they lower on down. Okay. From here, slide hands to your shins and look forward for halfway lift. Elevate the shoulders, open the chest, and then exhale and forward bend, hands to the mat or to your blocks. Inhale, halfway lift once again, and then exhale and forward bend. This time, inhale, halfway lift, rebend the knees, bring the arms behind you, kind of like you're in this like ski jumper pose. And then to come to standing, keep a neutral spine, straighten the legs, reach the hands high, look up to the thumbs, and exhale, palms to heart. Nice. Moving on. Inhale, reach the hands high, look up. Exhale, bend the knees as you fold forward. Hands to your mat or your block. Step your right foot back and lower to your right knee, and then left foot back, lower to your left knee. Walk your hands below your shoulders now for what we call all fours or tabletop pose. Knees are below your hips, so you may need to slide them back. And let's check out our hands here. So a lot of times we're up on our hands in our yoga poses, and it's really important to have a solid hand foundation by spreading the fingers wide and even, like so there's even space between each one of the fingers and the thumb. There's a little gripping action in the finger pads. So it's like as if you're palming a basketball. And so your hands are super active. Rather than having the shoulders kind of back behind the wrists, shift the shoulders forward. So shoulders, elbows, and wrists are stacked. Tabletop pose. We'll take it into a few rounds of cow-cat. So nothing changes with the hands. On an inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze. This is cow, arch the back. Exhale, round the back, press into the hands. Take your gaze all the way to your belly button for cat. Start with the inhale, arch the back, look up, cow pose. And then exhale, press into the hands and round in for cat. Couple more, inhale, cow pose. Use the full inhale to get to cow, and the full exhale to get to cat. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale to cat. Come back to neutral now, all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, keep the knees slightly bent for our first downward facing dog. So nothing changes with the hands. You have that same steady hand foundation. And I forgot to mention, but they're more or less shoulder width distance, right? Middle fingers can face forward, or if that feels a little icky on your wrist, you can slightly turn them out and see how that feels. Now, one more thing for this downward facing dog. We want to find stability in this pose. That's the key. We want stability and freedom and joy in every pose. So to find stable foundation, let's play around with walking the hands forward and getting a little too long in downward facing dog. It doesn't really feel all that stable. Nice. And then from here, walk your hands forward, like back towards your toes. I see this more often, that you're like too choked up, like you're too stable. There's not a whole lot of freedom in this pose. So find the middle ground where you feel stable, but also free to move. So shift the weight slightly into the hands. So you're still in your down dog, but notice that there's space to elevate the shoulders, melt the chest, integrate the shoulders into their sockets. Tone the arms, press down through the hands. And then at the same time, draw energy from the hands up the arms into the heart. And from the heart, lift the hips. Some of you will keep your knees bent. Others will straighten one leg and then the other. We don't worry about our heels reaching the mat here. And then you extend and expand into the pose. Downward facing dog. Okay, let's get out of there. Come back to all fours. That was a long hold. And then from here, bend the elbows, aim the chest between the thumbs, lower the chin. So you're kind of in this like inchworm with your bum. And then slither forward. Come onto your belly, untuck the toes. For cobra, lift up. And then exhale, forehead to the mat. Press to all fours. Establish your hand foundation. Tuck the toes, slide the hips up for downward facing dog. From here, look to your hands and take a slow walk to the front of the mat. All the way there. Hands below blocks. Inhale, slide hands to shins, halfway lift. And then exhale, back to forward bend, or Uttanasana, it's called in Sanskrit. Bend the knees, reach the arms back, lift through the chest in the ski jump kind of pose. And then straighten the legs, lift the hands high, and draw palms to heart center. Well done. Let's link those poses that we just did with breath. So this will be called a Sun Salutation A, or Surya Namaskar A in Sanskrit. Start off in mountain toes, establish your foot foundation, palms face forward. Inhale, fill up the whole body with breath, get real bright. And then on an exhale, feel real grounded through your feet, get rooted. Inhale, reach the hands high, look to the thumbs. And then exhale, fold forward with bent knees, touch the earth or your blocks. Inhale, slide hands to shins, halfway lift. And then exhale, place the hands, step the left foot, lower the knee, step the right foot back, lower the knee. Bend the elbows, lower chest and chin. And then inhale, come forward to cobra pose. Exhale, press to all fours, tuck the toes, and slide the hips up and back to your downward facing dog. Nicely done. Next, inhale, look to your thumbs. And exhale, you're going to step the right foot to the right thumb. Now, it might not get all the way there, and that's okay. You just take your right hand and step it forward. Look forward, maybe hands come below your blocks. Step the left foot to meet the right. Forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, slide hands to shins, halfway lift. And exhale to fold in. Bend the knees, ski jump arms. Straighten the legs to come to standing, look up. And exhale, palms to heart. Well done. Let's do that again, and we're going to add in another pose. Inhale, arms by your sides, mountain pose. Exhale, get rooted through the feet. Inhale, sweep the hands up, look up. And then exhale, forward bend with bent knees. Inhale, slide hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right, actually, let's go step the left foot back, left knee, right foot back, right knee. Bend the elbows, lower chest and chin. Inhale forward to cobra. Exhale, press up, all fours, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Here's the add-on. Inhale, look between your thumbs. Exhale, step the right foot. Now, if it doesn't meet, help it forward. For warrior one, lower the back heel so the left toes turn out at a 45-degree angle. Right knee bends to a square. Climb your hands up to your right thigh and inhale, reach the hands high. Bend the right knee a bit deeper. Warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the left foot to the left thumb. If it doesn't make it, help it out. Lower the right heel. Now, I forgot to mention this, but we're at a heel to heel alignment. So where are the feet? They're hip width distance apart. And if I had a piece of chalk, I could draw a line from my left heel to my right heel. Climb your hands up to your left thigh. Reach the hands high. And if you're feeling it all wobbly, it probably means you're too narrow in your stance and you need to typically move the left foot out to the left side. Bend more deeply through the left knee, reach through the fingers, and then exhale, touch down, step back, down dog. Lower to the knees, bend the elbows, chest and chin, untuck the toes for cobra, peel up, and then exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, look to your hands. Exhale, bend the knees and step the left foot forward and the right. Halfway lift, hands to shins. You got this now. Exhale and fold forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the hands behind you. And then straighten the legs, sweep the hands high, look to the thumbs. Exhale, palms to heart. Really nice. All right, a couple more poses here. So we'll do another sun salutation A, adding in some more standing poses. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up, and then exhale and fold. Inhale, slide hands to shins. Exhale, place the hands, step one foot, it doesn't matter which, and then the other, back to downward facing dog. Inhale now and step the right foot between the hands. For warrior two, lower the back foot. So this time we're at a heel to arch alignment. So the left foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat, and the right heel, if I draw a line, intersects with the inner left arch. Okay, from here, climb the hands up to the thigh and bring the arms out to a T. Now notice when you bend your knee, if the knee goes out past the ankle, it probably feels a little icky. It's not great for the knee. So it means you have to take a longer stance. So wiggle that right foot forward and bend the right knee so the knee is stacked over the ankle and your leg's more or less at a 90-degree angle. The back leg is straight and the gaze goes out over your right fingertips. Warrior two. Nothing changes in the legs. Flip the front palm. Reverse warrior, left hand lowers, right hand lifts high. Nice. Nothing changes in the legs. Bring the right forearm to the top of the right thigh, palm face up, and left hand reaches up and over for extended side angle. In Sanskrit, this is Parshva Vakasana. Cool. You're probably feeling this in the right leg, so let's touch down and step back to downward facing dog. Take a little break, and we'll do that on the second side. On your next inhale, step your left foot between your hands and dial the right heel down. Right foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat, and you're at a heel to arch alignment. So set yourself up before you stand up. So warrior two foot pattern. Climb the hands up to the left thigh, and then open up to warrior two or Virabhadrasana 2. Notice if that left knee is tracking forward, probably means you have to take a longer stance so you can bend the left knee to a square. Flip the left palm, For reverse warrior, lower the right hand, lift the left. Next pose is extended side angle. Left forearm to the thigh. Right arm sweeps up and over. Lower body super steady, super foundational. And then come on down. Step back, downward facing dog. Lower to your knees, bend the elbows, chest and chin. Slither forward, cobra, untuck the toes. And then press back, downward facing dog. Look to your hands. Walk or step the feet forward, coming to standing forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold in. Bend the knees, reach the hands back. Rise to standing with a neutral spine. Reach the hands high. And exhale, palms to heart. Nice. Standing balance pose. A lot of you know this one. It's called tree pose or vrikshasana. So we talk about all four corners of our feet in yoga. And I want to show you how to get there. So you're super rooted like a tree. We'll start with the left foot. And see if you can see my feet here. You're going to press into the ball of the big toe mound. Like you want to plant a seed into the earth. You're pressing that hard. From there, from the big toe mound, draw a line to the inside of your foot to the inner heel. Press the inner heel down into the earth. From the inner heel, draw diagonally up toward your pinky, the ball of the pinky toe. Press down to that. And then the ball of the pinky toe, draw a line to the outside of the foot to the outer heel. Step down into the left foot, super steady. That's your foundation. That's your the foot you'll be balancing on. Bring hands to heart center. Come onto the toes of the right foot. Slide the right foot into the inner left leg line. I call this kickstand. So this might be enough. Your gaze is out at a spot in front of you that's not moving. Place your attention there. And some of you may wish to slide the right foot to the inner shin or inner left thigh. Try to avoid the inner knee, of course. That wouldn't feel so good. And if you wobble and come out, no worries. Just start over again. Stay in for a couple more rounds of Ujjayi breath. And then on an inhale, simultaneously reach the hands and the foot. Shake out the left leg, do a little dance. And then we'll find that same like super rooted quality in the right foot. So start on the ball of the big toe mound on the right foot. Stretch back to the instep to the inner right heel. From the right heel, draw a diagonal to the pinky. And from the ball of the pinky toe, press out to the outer heel. Nice. Stand onto the right foot. Come onto the left toes, palms to heart center. Take a deep breath in. And for tree pose, the left foot comes to the inside of the right ankle, shin, or inner thigh. You choose. 3 or 4 rounds of breath. Nice. Inhale, release. Do your little dance. Make your way back to the front of the mat if you drifted like me. Mountain pose. Fill up with breath. And exhale, get rooted. Inhale, sweep the hands high. Look up. And exhale to fold in. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Lower to your knees and just come all the way down to your belly this time. For a pose called Locus pose, the back bend. Bring arms by your sides. Tops of the feet press into the mat. And just relax everything down for a moment. Keep the belly relaxed, but begin to tone the arms and the legs. On an inhale, we'll lift everything up off the mat. So exhale out. And then on an inhale, lift the strong arms and legs up off the mat. Only the belly stays. So arms and legs are super toned, lifting you, lengthening from the crown of the head all the way down through your toes. Hold for 3, 2, and one, and then just release it all the way down. Woo! Kind of feel that, especially in your lower back. We're going to take this to the next pose. It's called floor bow or Dhanurasana. So you'll bend your knees and reach for the tops of your feet. Now, if this is too much, like if you can't quite reach the tops of your feet, no worries. You're just going to go back to our locus pose that we just did. For my floor bowers, you reach for their feet and then kind of like arch your back and drag the knees forward so you're in this weird like inchworm butt. This will eventually lead to a bit more freedom in the pose. So everybody, locust and floor bow, exhale out. And then on an inhale, you begin to kick into your hands and you lift up off the mat. Floor bow, take the throat back, look up. Stay in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. Bring hands below your shoulders. Press to all fours, tuck the toes, and slide the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Really nice. Step the feet forward now, halfway up your mat, and come on down seated to lying on your back. So that helped warm us up for bridge pose, so a back bending pose. The foundation for this pose is to have your knees bent and your feet once again are hip width distance, so more or less parallel. And they're pretty close to your bum. You can measure that by reaching your fingertips and they'll hit the back of your heels. Okay, arms by your sides. Arch the lower back. So we want to maintain the natural curve in the back here as best as possible. So that may even mean like taking one of your hands, you can reach between that space that you made between the lower back and the mat, right? Like if there's like a little animal running around, it could scurry below that. So keep that throughout this whole pose. Press hands down into the mat, so palms face down. Now, rather than using like your glutes to lift you up, I want you to press into the feet. So exhale out. On an inhale, press into the feet and just float the hips up. You don't have to clench the glutes. They'll contract slightly, but not a whole lot. Pausing here, allowing from the palate of your mouth, lengthen through the torso and legs, and then from your knees, press down into your legs, into your feet. Now, rather than lowering vertebrae by vertebrae and rounding the spine, think about aiming the sitting bones to the mat to maintain the curve in the lower back. So here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Lower the sitting bones down all the way. Touch down and take a little mini break. We're going to do that 2 more times. So reestablish the foundation, drawing the heels towards the bum. Feet are more or less parallel. Exhale out. And on an inhale, press into the feet, float the hips. And this time, bring attention to the chest. Try to get it a bit more vertical. Notice that it starts to bump into the chin and take the chin away from the chest. So that helps maintain the curve in the neck, the cervical spine. We want to maintain those natural curves as best as possible. Hold here for 3. You got this. For 2, lengthening, pressing into the feet for 1. And then aim the sitting bones into the mat. Really nice. Take a little mini break. And we'll do that 1 more time. Press into the feet. Inhale, lift the hips. Get the chest a bit more vertical. And then chin away from chest. For 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Really nice. Pause here. And then to come up slowly and safely, draw your knees into your chest. Roll to one side. Use your top arm to press up. And then make your way back to a downward facing dog. So after any kind of back bends, it's really nice to get some spinal extension. So really send the hips up and back. Knees can be bent. Press into your hands. And it's almost as if you're trying to press your hands and feet away from each other. From here, once again, step halfway up your mat and come on down seated. Setting up for a seated twist. Bring your feet out in front of you. Bend the right knee into your chest and cross the right foot over the left leg. Now the left leg can stay straight, or you could bend the left knee so the left foot is on the outside of the right hip. Either way, you're going to get the twist. So listen to your body, you do you. Right hand comes behind you, like almost as like a little support system for your spine. And you stay up on your right fingertips. Reach the left hand high. And on an exhale, you take the twist. So turn the belly and chest to the right, left elbow to the knee, or you wedge the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Use the right fingertips to get tall through the spine. And then exhale and twist over the right shoulder. You got it. So in Sanskrit, this pose is Ardha Matsyendrasana, or seated twist. Cool. On your next inhale, untwist, unwind. Take your legs out in front of you and shake them out. We'll do that on the second side. Bend the left knee into the chest, cross it over the right leg. Just side of the right leg will stay straight, or you'll bend the foot into the outer left hip. Left hand comes behind for support, up on your fingertips. Right hand reaches high. Inhale, and then exhale and twist. Elbow to knee or to the outside of the leg. Get tall through the spinal column. And then exhale and twist over the left shoulder. Nice. Inhale and come back forward. Shake out the legs. And for these next seated poses, if you know that you have tight hamstrings or it's hard for you to sit up on the floor, grab a blanket and you'll sit up onto the edge of it. So sitting bones just to the edge of the mat. This pose is called cobblers. So I think it's called Baddha Konasana in Sanskrit. Soles of the feet together, thumbs to the inside of the feet, fingers wrap around the tops. Begin to draw the knees down towards the mat. They may or may not touch. And some of you may even draw the heels in a little closer to the torso. Sit up tall. Remember that natural curve in the lower back. You want to make sure you have that. And you can even use your thumbs to draw the feet apart like a book and see if that helps lower the knees. So this is for your outer hips. It's an outer hip stretch. Take your hands to your knees now. Close them up like you would a book. And come on down. Actually, I said we were going to use the blanket, but we're going to do that, let's see, for a different class. So set that to the side and come back to downward facing dog. So this next pose is another hip opener. It's called Pigeon or Pigeon Prep. So you'll take your right knee and aim it for the right wrist. Lower the left knee down to the mat. And the right knee's angled out about 45 degrees. Left toes tucked under. And you come up onto your fingertips. Now, if there's any amount of pain or discomfort in the right knee, that's where the blocks come back in. So prop yourself up on your blocks. And the aim is to get a stretch in the outer right hip muscles. And you might also be feeling it in the front of the left hip in the hip flexors. If you're feeling okay in that right knee and you want to make this more of a restorative pose, come on down to your forearms. Or it might feel nice to bring forearms to a block. If you're upright or if you're on your forearms, lower the chin slightly so the neck is in neutral pose and you're not holding your head up. Nice. And then to come outside, hands below your shoulders. Tuck the left toes if they're not still tucked. And then slide the right leg out and come back into downward facing dog. Well done. Let's do that again on the second side. This is a great pose to do kind of towards the end of practice for a cool down, or if you're looking to do some more hip opening, you can keep it a bit more active pose. So bend the left knee and aim it towards the left wrist. Stay up onto the right toes, like have them tucked under so your legs stay active. Left knee is angled out about 45 degrees, and you come up onto your fingertips. Left toes kind of tucked down for support, and you may want to come up on blocks. Try that out. Or lower forearms to the mat or a block. About 3 rounds of breath here. Pigeon prep. And then to come out, slide hands below your shoulders, right toes tuck under, and sneak back to downward facing dog. From here, once again, walk your feet forward, come on down seated, and to lying on your back. So shift forward so you have some space. Draw knees into your chest. Draw knees out about shoulder width distance. Arch the lower back. Bring big toes to touch. So you're in like a supine child's pose. From here, reach for the inside or outside of your feet for happy baby. Keep drawing the sitting bones towards the mat, and you can rock side to side or straighten one leg and then the other. And from here, draw knees back into your chest. Bring your arms out to a T. Actually, kind of bring your soles of the feet to the mat first. Lift the hips, send them to the left just an inch, arch the lower back. Okay, now bring your knees to your chest. And for the twist, draw your knees to the right. Aim them for your inner right elbow. Your gaze can stay up at the ceiling or out over your left shoulder for a supine twist. How's your breath? Come back to the Ujjayi style, in and out through your nose for a few moments longer. This is the breath that helps us remain present to the practice, present to the pose, present to the sensations in the body and the mind. Nice, and come back through center, set the feet down, lift the hips, shift them over 2 inches to the right, rebend the knees into the chest, and lower them over to the left this time. Gaze is out over the right shoulder. Attend to the breath. So this is the time of the practice that your mind might be going on to the next thing in the day, the next thing on your to-do list. So it's a good reminder to return to the breath, to continue to carve this time out for yourself, to carve this time out for taking care of your physical and mental health, to being sustainable so you can then serve others in the way that you want to. Nice, and then come back through center, lower the feet, reestablish the torso into the middle of your mat, and then straighten one leg and then the other. Heels aim for the corners of your mat, and just allow the toes and the feet to flap out to the sides. Arms come down by your sides and away from your torso, palms face up. Draw your attention one more time back to the breath. This time just take the deepest inhale yet, from your toes all the way to the crown of your head. And then on an exhale, just let go of the control. Let go of the Ujjayi breath. Let go of any tension or contraction in the muscles of the body. Fully relax into this pose, into Shavasana, or corpse pose. Allowing the practice to integrate into the body and the mind so that you can renew and remember for the next time you make it to your mat. And slowly return to the present moment and wiggle fingers and toes. And circle your ankles, circle your wrists. Draw one knee in towards the chest and then the other and roll to one side. Pause here. Then use the strength of your arms to press the seated. Palms come to the tops of the thighs or knees or to heart center. Lower chin to the chest in a way to honor yourself, to honor carving out this time. Honoring the practice, honoring the privilege to be able to do yoga together. Thanks you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you again.